Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Giver. Today we're going to read chapter 8, and it's going to be a big one. I'm excited to see what happens because in the last chapter, Jonas didn't get an assignment. So what's happening, right? So grab your books, let's do this. Chapter 8. The audience was clearly ill at ease. I mean, they're uncomfortable, right? They applauded at the final assignment, but the applause was piecemeal. Means they just gave it. They didn't really mean it. No longer a crescendo of united enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. There were murmurs of confusion. What's going on, right? Jonas moved his hands together, clapping, but it was an automatic, meaningless gesture that he wasn't even aware of, kind of like the piecemeal clapping. His mind had shut out all of the earlier emotions, the anticipation, excitement, pride, and even the happy friendship with his friends. Now he felt only humiliation and terror. He's scared, right? He feels embarrassed. Ugh, they didn't give me an assignment. They skipped me. The chief elder waited until the uneasy applause subsided. Then she spoke again. I know, she said in her vibrant, big and colorful, kind of like my voice, right? Gracious, kind, happy, helpful voice, that you are all concerned, that you feel I have made a mistake. She smiled, the community relieved from its discomfort very slightly by her benign, not important, not serious statement, seemed to breathe more easily. It was very silent. Jonas looked up. I have caused you anxiety. Anxiety. Means I made you worried. Sorry. She said, I apologize to my community. Her voice flowed over the assembled crowd. We accept your apology, they all uttered together, because they have to, right? It's rules. Which is weird, right? Please, what was it? Accept your Jonas, she said, looking down at him, I apologize to you in particular, specifically, right? I caused you anguish. I caused you pain and suffering, right? I accept your apology, Jonas replied shakily. And he asked to reply that. Please come to the stage now. Ooh, here we go. Earlier that day, dressing in his own house, he had practiced the kind of jaunty, like a rock star or something. Jaunty, self-assured walk. He's really confident. Look at me, I'm awesome. I'm getting my assignment, right? And I lost my place. Self-assured walk that he hoped he could make to the stage when his turn came. All of that was forgotten now. He simply willed himself to stand, to move to his feet that felt weighted and clumsy, to go forward, up the steps, across the platform, until he stood at her side. Reassuringly, relax, it's okay, right? She placed her arm across his tense shoulders. Jonas has not been assigned, she informed the crowd, and his heart sank. Oh no, he didn't get a job. Right? He's unemployed. Sort of, I guess. Jonas has not been assigned, she informed the crowd, and his heart sank. Then she went on. Jonas has been selected. Ooh. That's weird, right? That's different. He blinked. What did that mean? He felt a collective, questioning stir from the audience. They too were puzzled. In a firm, commanding voice, she announced, Jonas has been selected to be our next receiver of memory. What? Okay. Then he heard the gasp, a sudden intake of breath, drawn sharply in astonishment by each of the seated citizens. Ooh, that's tricky. He saw their faces, their eyes widen in awe. Awe means amazement. They're like, whoa, right? And still he did not understand. Such a selection is very, very rare, the chief elder told the audience. Our community has only one receiver. It is he who trains his successor, the person who comes after him. We have had our current receiver for a very long time, she went on. Jonas followed her eyes and saw that she was looking at one of the elders. The committee of elders was sitting together in a group, and the chief elder's eyes were now on the one who sat in the midst, in the middle, right, in amongst the people, but seemed oddly separate from them. It was a man Jonas had never noticed before, a bearded man with pale eyes, right? That'd be weird. Ugh. He was watching Jonas intently, so he's really paying attention with his pale eyes. We failed in our last selection, the chief elder said solemnly. There it is, solemnly, right? It was 10 years ago when Jonas was just a toddler. I will not dwell on the experience because it causes us all terrible discomfort. Jonas did not know what she was referring to, but he could sense the discomfort from the audience. So this was a problem before. They shifted uneasily in their seats. We have not been hasty this time, she continued. We could not afford another failure. We have not been... Sometimes, she went on, speaking now in a lighter tone, relaxing the tension in the auditorium. We are not entirely certain about the assignments, even after the most painstaking observations. Sometimes we worry that the one assignment might not develop, though training through. Let's read that again. Sometimes we worry that the one assigned might not develop. Through training, every attribute necessary. 11s are still children, after all. What we observe as playfulness and patience, the requirements to become nurturer, could with maturity be revealed as simply foolishness and indolence. Ooh, it's not very good, right? So we continue to observe their training and to modify behavior when necessary. But the receiver in training cannot be observed, cannot be modified. That is stated quite clearly in the rules. He is to be alone, apart, while he is prepared by the current receiver for the job, which is the most honored in our community. Whoa, he got picked for a crazy important thing, right? Alone, apart, Jonas listened with increasing unease. So he's very uncomfortable. He's worried. What's going on? Therefore, the selection must be sound. It must be a unanimous, everyone, right? Unanimous choice of the committee. So everyone in the committee must agree. They can have no doubts, however fleeting. If during the process an elder reports a dream of uncertainty, that's weird, right? Well, everything's weird here. That dream has the power to set a candidate aside instantly. Jonas was identified as a possible receiver many years ago. We have observed him meticulously, very carefully. There were no dreams of uncertainty. He has shown all of the qualities that a receiver must have. With her hand still firmly on his shoulder, the chief elder listed the qualities. So here's what's important. Intelligence, she said. We are all aware that Jonas has been a top student throughout his school days. Integrity, she said next. Jonas has, like all of us, committed minor transgressions, small things. He's done small, bad things, right? She smiled at him. We expect that. We hoped also that he would present himself promptly for chastisement. Naughty boy. And he always has done so. Courage, she went on. Only one of us here today has ever undergone the rigorous, difficult, hard training required of a receiver. He, of course, is the most important member of the committee, the current receiver. It was he who reminded us again and again of the courage required. Jonas, she said, turning to him, but speaking in a voice that the entire community could hear. The training required of you involves pain. Physical pain. What? So they're going to hurt him. He felt fear flutter within him. You have never experienced that. You have never experienced that. Yes, you have scraped your knees and falls from your bicycle. Yes, you have crushed your finger in the door last year. Jonas nodded, agreeing, as he recalled the incident and its accompanying misery. No fun, right? Bam! Ouch. But you will be faced now. Oh, that's such a weird structure to the sentences. But you will be faced now, she explained gently, with pain of a magnitude, severity, serious, right? That none of us here can comprehend because it is beyond our experience. They're really going to hurt this kid. The receiver himself was not able to describe it, only to remind us that you would be faced with it, that you would need immense courage, a lot of courage. We cannot prepare you for that. But we feel certain that you are brave, she said to him. He did not feel brave at all. Not now. We're going to hurt you, Jonas. Don't worry. The fourth essential attribute, right? The fourth essential thing they need, the chief elder said, is wisdom. Jonas has not yet acquired that. The acquisition, gaining, of wisdom, that is what we looked for. What? Oh, duh. The acquisition of wisdom will come through his training. We are convinced that Jonas has the ability to acquire wisdom. That is what we looked for. Finally, the receiver must have one more quality, and it is one which I can only name, but not describe. Okay, that's weird. I do not understand it. You members of the community will not understand it either. Perhaps Jonas will, because the current receiver has told us that Jonas already has this quality. He calls it the capacity, ability, to see beyond. What? Oh, it's the apple thing. The chief elder looked at Jonas with a question in her eyes. The audience watched him too. They were silent. For a moment he froze, consumed with despair. He's really worried. Oh my God, what's wrong? What is this ability to... He didn't have it. The whatever she had said. He didn't know what it was. Now was the moment when he would have to confess to say, no, I don't. I can't. And throw himself on their mercy, ask for their forgiveness, to explain that he had been wrongly chosen, that he was not the right one at all. But when he looked out across the crowd, the sea of faces, the thing that happened again. The thing happened. There's no that. The thing happened again. The thing that had happened with the apple. I knew it, yes, with the apple. They changed. Ooh. He blinked, and it was gone. His shoulders straightened slightly. Briefly, he felt a tiny sliver of sureness for the first time. They changed. What does that mean? She was still watching him. They all were. I think it's true, he told the chief elder and the community. I don't understand it yet. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I see something, and maybe it's beyond. Weird, okay. She took her arm from his shoulders. Jonas, she said, speaking not to him alone, but to the entire community of which he was a part. You will be trained to be our next receiver of memory. We thank you for your childhood. Oh, that's creepy when they say that. Then she turned and left the stage, left him there, standing alone, standing and facing the crowd, which began spontaneously altogether, and suddenly, to the collective murmur of his name. Jonas. It was a whisper at first, hushed, barely audible, can't really hear it. Jonas, Jonas, then louder, faster, Jonas, Jonas, Jonas. So weird, right? With the chant, Jonas knew the community was accepting him and his new role, giving him life, the way they had given it to the new child, Caleb. His heart swelled with gratitude and pride. But at the same time, he was filled with fear. Who wouldn't be, right? You're going to suffer pain. He did not know what his selection meant. He did not know what he was to become or what would become of him. Oh my goodness, right? We'll read 9 next time. It's going to be weird, right? What's going to happen? Are they going to torture him? I don't get it. Okay, anyways, let's take a look at our questions for this chapter, okay? So, Number 1, what do you think is the difference between being selected and being appointed? They made a point of italicizing those two words. So there is some meaning behind them. They're not the same for a reason. Why? Number 2, why do you think there is only one receiver of memory? I think that's kind of weird too, right? And it's a very important job. So, what do you think? Number 3, why do you think they failed in their last selection of the receiver of memory? It's kind of scary, right? The receiver of memory gets all this pain and the last one failed. What happened? And number 4, what do you think the pain Jonas will have to face is? Yeah, they didn't really describe the pain. They just said that it is a lot of pain. It's a serious thing. So, ooh, he's in for some trouble, right? Let me know what you think. Make sure you write your answers. Throw your answers down below so we can check them too. Send them to me. I want to see what you think, because it's going to be hard not to read ahead and know the answer before we read the next chapter. But I'll see you for chapter 9. Bye.